So since my son had already opened up the box, I figured we can take it down and do the examination. So I'm kind of using one hand here, so But this is the game that I am currently doing. So, and the box art is actually in pretty good shape. I bought it from eBay. The box art and everything. There's really nothing bad. Box art's pretty good. So it's not too bad. I'm not gonna get into reading all this stuff. I'm not gonna get into that because it is what it is. We're gonna basically try the game out. Now that we open it up, for obvious reasons, For obvious reasons, there is no no cover because they have gotten cheap. I see there's one little. Or no, it's not. It was just a light. But yeah, so we're good. Looks pretty good. I mean, buying stuff from eBay can be a little bit spotty, so you never know. Because yes, this game it's completely delisted, so I had to buy it from eBay. Okay, let's take a look. There's that there. Let's take a look at the disc. It's the first time that I'm actually looking at it myself. You just see my good old reflection in my phone. Awesome. Actually, it's a little fingerprinted up, but I mean, nothing a little to it, but actually.
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk to and spit on that thing. You get me?
Alright, so and the other game that I did buy was this one, because eventually I'm going to be doing a comparison. This is the PS2 version of the Battle for Bikini Bottom, the SpongeBob SquarePants game. There was a remaster, and this is the original PS2 version. I wanted to do a comparison video eventually. This one was quite a treat because, I mean, it is a little bit, I did notice these little blemishes up here. I mean, not horrible, but just like, over time or whatever. I don't know. But it's not a big deal. But yeah, I mean, everything looks pretty intact. And the treat thing for me was, it has all these pamphlets and stuff in it. Like, I mean, like, it's really cool, like a Nickelodeon survival kit. I mean, this is like pretty awesome. Hang on, let me this is really hard to read it with one hand. But yeah, so this is like really awesome. I mean, all this, like, everything is pretty intact. And when I go out and I buy, when I buy, old PS2 games and stuff, I'm wanting to. This is what I want to do. Like, I want pamphlets, and I want the everything that it comes with, and this is really cool that it comes with this. It's got the advertisement for a new game, whatever, and I saw this Jimmy Neutron one here in the back. Yeah, so it's just different game, different game ads basically, and that Jimmy Neutron game, I may have played that years ago, I can't remember, but it's pretty cool. Whatever it is, I mean, it's pretty awesome to have this. And then this is the actual game pamphlet that it comes with, and again, I actually have not fanned through it yet, but it's actually in pretty good shape. I mean, it's I don't know why that's sticky, kind of awkward, but it's in color, which is awesome. That did not happen too often back in this time, that it would be in color. Most of the time it might be colored in the front, colored in the back, but then inside might be like black and white. But this isn't. Like, this is actually it's really cool. I always have nerd moments. I always geek out like this, but yeah, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, more, the game, other game, well, it's the same game advertisements as the other thing that I had, but I mean, it's really awesome. Then of course the thank yous and well, actually no, that's a warranty. Sorry, yeah, loaned warranty, so it's probably invalid now. And then of course the same, I guess that tack, which I've never played that game before, but it's out. But all right, anyways, so that's that. I will eventually cover this game. What I'm currently going to be covering is this one, the Avengers. Marvel's The Avengers. I've heard negative things about it, but I'm going to be giving quite the review. So let's do a really cool transition right now. Marvel's Avengers. Man, what can I say? This game came out in 2020, and I'm trying it now for the first time in 2024. When this game came out, I thought to myself, it's a pretty cool concept, but I kept hearing all these negative things circling online about it. It was a pay-to-win type of game, a live service game, and you had to spend a lot of real money on the game after purchasing it for $70 to really get anything cool, I guess. In 2020, when the game was released, after hearing all the negative stuff about it, I didn't really have the desire to play it. And then I started drawing games out of a hat, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to add this game to the hat to see if it's any better now than when it was upon release. And that is a big if I draw the game out of the hat, out of the thousands of games that I have in the hat. Really, at this rate, I have so many games in this hat that it would have been like 2040 by the time I actually drew this game out of the hat. But yeah, I actually got it after the last game that I played, and I gotta tell you, this game was really good. It was so good, it actually surprised me. Apparently this game sold so poorly that it got delisted, and I had to purchase this on eBay. And the online support from Crystal Dynamics ended in September 2023. So it's actually kind of funny that I drew this game out of the hat and actually played this game. This is the only game that I played all through the month of September 2024 in order to make this video, literally 1 year after this game got delisted and online support got completely cut. Crystal Dynamics, by the way, if you are unfamiliar, is the same team behind the Tomb Raider games. This game is nothing like those games. And by now, I'm sure you're scratching your heads wondering what exactly is my take on Marvel's Avengers now. And the truth is, I never did play this game in 2020, I never actually had the desire to, and frankly, I didn't even know if this was going to be better than in 2020. So without further ado, this is my 100% full in-depth review of Marvel's Avengers on PlayStation 4. Stupid me didn't think about getting the PS5 version, and I'm currently not making money on YouTube, so I decided not to buy a second copy. But that was a mistake that I will not make in the future. So let's move on to something that I normally start these types of videos out with, and let's talk about the graphics. Now, I didn't actually have the most updated version because there is a PlayStation 5 version out there floating around, and I played the PS4 version, but I can tell you that the environments looked pretty gorgeous actually, and there wasn't very many glitches. The only glitch that I really encountered was near the end of the game where it actually kind of soft locked me where I couldn't progress, and the only thing I could actually do is restart the checkpoint. What had happened is that I had to defeat one more enemy, but it wasn't letting me hit him, and for some reason, Hulk just kept throwing stuff at him and nothing was working, so I just restarted a checkpoint and I got through, no harm, no foul. There was also this moment right at the end of the game, this is actually when you beat the main campaign, where Nick Fury just looked weird. Just look.
Feels good to be back. Now, first we'll need to get a foothold in the major cities on the eastern seaboard. Right now, AIM is in total control, preventing the resistance from rescuing trapped Inhumans. Get in and get us the advantage.
I don't know if you noticed it, but him and my character Iron Man looked kind of jittery. Like that wasn't my computer or nothing like that. That was actually the game while I was playing it. I just thought it looked really weird. The only real explanation that I can actually see is that I think a lot of the story content was added after the game was released, so maybe they didn't polish it up enough or something. I don't really know. I just thought this looked very weird. But there are some really beautiful environments in this game, and my favorite location actually happens to be the city. I just liked the way it looked. It was bright, it was vibrant, and I loved flying around the city as Thor. Thor and Iron Man are the only two flying characters in this game, and I favored Thor mostly after the Reassemble campaign, of course, because he just felt a lot faster, and it was easier for me to find loot boxes as Thor just because he just felt faster. I mean, it might have been the same speed, I could be wrong, but to me, he felt faster. Next, I'm going to be talking about actual gameplay in this game, but before I do, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content just like this. Let's get going. I really had a lot of fun with the gameplay in this game. It's basically your standard Insomniac Spider-Man styled fighting game. Everything to me felt tight and pretty fluid. And I know, comparing this game to Insomniac Spider-Man from 2018 is tough, but I mean, a lot of the moves felt the same if I were to compare it to that game. Playing this game on PlayStation, if you tap the square button, it will be the light attack, and if you tap the triangle button, it will be the strong attack. If you hold in either of the two buttons, it will be a slightly stronger attack of either of the light or the strong attack. Pretty self-explanatory. And then of course you have your standard shoot buttons, which you aim with the L2 and then you fire with the R2. All that aside, after you complete the Reassemble campaign, you got a pretty decent roster of characters you can choose from. This also depends on what DLC you decide to play. But don't make a mistake, this is not like other games where each different character you play, it feels like the same character. This game actually makes you feel like that particular character. Each character has different movesets and their own strengths and weaknesses. Each character has its own power level, and to increase the power level, simply play as each character and upgrade it with gear that you loot out of a strongbox. The gear mechanic is pretty simplistic. It's not really my favorite mechanic of the game, but it's easy enough. Basically, you just put on the gear that has the higher number, but at the top left corner of your screen, you can actually see how much it will increase or decrease certain stats. So each character feels pretty good to use, but in my personal opinion, my favorite character is Thor. But as I have compared the combat fluidity to that of Insomniac's Spider-Man, ironically, Spider-Man as a character in this game is the worst character to use. I've only used Spider-Man in this game a couple of times, and I can tell you they definitely at least attempted to rip this straight from 2018, but they made it like really bad. And every character basically has a weapon of some sort that will actually shoot, and Spider-Man's obviously is his web shooters. But what's funny about this is that he has to reload his web shooters like Natasha Romanoff needs to reload her guns. I just thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, Thor is good, Spider-Man sucks really badly. But once you complete all of the story DLCs and the Reassemble campaign, there is a continuous gameplay loop, but I still find it pretty entertaining with the different maps that you could explore and to find all these loot boxes. Some people might call this a boring continuous gameplay loop, but I mean, what do you expect? GTA Online has been out for 11 years, and there's a lot of grinding in that game, and there's a lot of continuous gameplay as well, but no one complains about that, or do they? Anyways, that's my GTA reference for this video. Let's move on. This is your official spoiler warning. Skip to the timestamp on your screen if you do not want to be spoiled. Okay, you still here? Good, let's start with the Reassemble campaign. Reassemble is the main campaign operation in the game, and it serves as an introduction for the game and its main storyline. The game starts you off as a young Kamala Khan on the anniversary of the Avengers formation. The Avengers organize a celebration for their fans to attend in San Francisco to celebrate the Avengers formation, and it's a day that they called Avengers Day, or A-Day. Didn't see that coming. During the event, the team unveils plans to expand the West Coast and reveal their own personal helicarrier, the Chimera, powered by a Terrigen reactor developed by George Tarleton and Monica Rappaccini. Of course, one of the attendees is you, Kamala Khan, who meets and encounters 5 of the teammates during this event. However, amid the festivities, the Golden Gate Bridge is attacked by Taskmaster and his mercenaries. While Captain America remains aboard the Chimera, the other Avengers attempt to apprehend the villain and his forces, and they devastated the bridge in the process. After the Avengers defeated Taskmaster, they realized too late that this attack was a distraction. Before they can return, the Chimera crashes into the bay, causing the Terrigen reactor to erupt and transformed into the mist, as well as the apparent death of Captain America. More on that later. In the aftermath, San Francisco is abandoned due to the mist from the Terrigen reactor and damage caused by the earthquakes. The mist also caused many civilians to develop superpowers, prompting them to be called Inhumans by the media. In the result of the investigations by the US Senate, the Avengers are forced to testify. During the proceedings, Bruce Banner asserts that the team's existence poses a threat to civilians, resulting in their disbandment. Other organizations that had been heavily associated with the team, including S.H.I.E.L.D. and Stark Industries, are all dismantled. Many of their resources are acquired by Tarleton and Rappaccini, who reform them into a science company, Advanced Idea Mechanics, or AIM. In the years after the event, AIM works to cure the inhuman condition, spreading falsified reports tying the Avengers with events more heavily. The story picks up 5 years after A-Day, and Kamala, now an Inhuman with polymorphic ability, strives to find proof of AIM's involvement with the events of A-Day. Working with an anonymous hacker called Tiny Dancer, Kamala gains access to AIM's servers but is discovered and forced to disconnect before she can discover anything incriminating. Investigating a file that she was able to recover, Kamala finally discovers that it contained a corrupt video of George Charlton sealing Captain America into the reactor room. There is a lot more to this, like a lot actually, and I mean, like, eventually Kamala finds Bruce Banner in Utah. Tiny Dancer turns out to be Black Widow, and Captain America is presumed to be dead, but he was in fact in a cryogenic sleep somehow. Like I said, there's a lot to this, but I do want to move on because this video is already too long. And after you complete the Reassemble campaign, there isn't much of a story with the Taking Aim DLC or the Wakanda Forever DLC. It's basically the same thing. Aim is bad and they're trying to take over. That's pretty much it. But one comment I do have to make is the introduction for Thor in the Reassemble campaign was just on point. It had me on my feet. I love Thor.
We're here live at the AIM experience in Manhattan, witnessing the return of the Avengers, but they appear to be attacking the city. Keep rolling, keep rolling. Is it any coincidence that this attack comes on the very day that AIM is supposed to unveil their promising new adaptoid program? Oh, shit.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You should know, I'm not in the best of moods!
Wait, is that Thor?
Mwah! Chef's kiss. And now we're going to move on to this next segment, the pros and cons. The beginning of the game, of course, you start as Kamala Khan as a kid going to this Avengers event, and I will admit some of the dialogue was a little bit juvenile, but as you're playing as a kid, basically, it's pretty forgivable. But I will say, after the A-Day event, the second chapter begins, and basically you're hoisted into the action as the whole Avengers team. And this entire chapter was a whole lot of fun, and it was the most advertised when this game first came out. The combat is definitely what I would consider a pro. As I explained earlier, the combat is pretty tight, and it actually did make me feel like the character that I was playing, with each one having its different moves and feeling unique depending on who you are, which again is a big pro. I absolutely loved the main campaign, the Reassemble campaign, because as a new character got introduced, you played as this character. It just made for a really cool change as you progressed through the story. Apparently there was a lot of people complaining that this game felt a little too easy, and my only comment to that is, yeah, depending on what character you're playing. Like Thor, the God of Thunder, of course, is supposed to be easy because, you know, he's a god. And then Iron Man is a dude in a metal suit, and Hulk is, well, a Hulk. So yeah, those sections are going to be a little bit easier than others. It didn't start becoming a little bit challenging until you become Natasha Romanoff, but that's just because she's just a girl. Now, before you try to throw me in the fire and burn me at the stake by calling me sexist and all that crap, am I wrong? I mean, what power does Black Widow have besides kicking?
So, what's your superpower?
Kicking.
Oh, right, because none of us can kick. Hey, which one of you guys can kick? Hulk, stop being nice.
Sorry.
To put this into a deeper perspective for you, if this section was played by Tony Stark without his Iron Man suit, then I would say that, oh yeah, he's just a guy. Kind of like the mission where you have to actually play as Tony Stark, where he's getting parts for his suit. It was challenging, but yet pretty satisfying. So yeah, that made it a little bit more challenging as Black Widow, but all in all, I thought the section was pretty awesome. It was one of my favorite sections of them all. So I had pretty high hopes going forward. And there is one big con that I do want to mention. This cannot be a Marvel game that's owned by Disney without something woke. Yes, I'm going to mention it. They have first of all, they have a Thor Love and Thunder nameplate, which I thought that movie was just awful. And they also have a bunch of, LGBT stuff and trans stuff as well that I don't really get down with that. They could leave all that indoctrination stuff out of these games. And of course they have to have their emotes like, Fortnite, of course, which I think that's pretty stupid too, but it is what it is. Also, I know that there was a lot of complaints about how the gameplay got boring and monotonous real quick, but I don't know. I mean, when I was playing through the Reassemble campaign, it seemed like it kept things pretty interesting, especially when you became a new character. But I mean, I guess after the Reassemble campaign, when you go back to try to get collectibles or trophies or whatever, I guess it can be pretty monotonous. Even if you start the other DLCs, they are quite similar, you know, but that's really the only thing that I can think of. Now moving on to a little con, the gear mechanic in this game is needn't to be desired. I mean, it's pretty basic. Anytime I gather gear and it's just a higher number with a perk or something like that, I'll just add it. But there's a lot of gear that you won't be using because, you know, the higher the number, the more powerful it is. So there's really no use putting on gear that is a lower number because it's just going to make you weaker. I mean, they probably could have done something a little bit better with progression in this area of the game, but it is what it is. Now, this is completely off topic, but tell me why Captain America looks like he has a dad bod. I mean, really, like, we look kind of the same, and I know I have a dad bod. Also, Nolan North voices Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, so every time I hear Iron Man, I think of Nathan Drake. That's definitely a pro. I love Nathan Drake and the whole Uncharted series. The AI in this game is pretty decent as far as the combat, but all of your companions basically just follow you, which can have some downsides because there are some missions where you have to defend something or defend people or whatever. You, as your character, you'll rush and defend one person or one thing being attacked, and all your companions will literally just follow you instead of staying in that main area and continue to defend the thing that's still getting attacked. I kind of wish they implemented something where you can tell your companions to keep attacking or hold down the fort, whatever it may be. I mean, the only thing that you can do is basically press up to tell them to open a door or something like that. But other than that, you really can't tell your companions to do anything. They'll literally just follow you, which is good sometimes, but other times it can be a bit of a hassle. To end this portion of the video on a high note, I haven't tried this, but I'm pretty sure that if one of your friends also has a copy of this game, you can actually play it together online. Even if the server is down, it just acts like a multiplayer mode, so that's pretty cool. Replayability. Is that a word? This game has a ton of replay value in my own personal opinion. You can play assignments with these certain mission chains, and some of them you have to do with like little sub-stories and extra cutscenes to expand on the story even more, and that's pretty cool. And I will admit, I played this game a lot since the last video that I uploaded, like more than I should have. And as far as getting the platinum trophy, yes, it is very possible in this game, and I was trying it. That's why I was playing this game so much. But the problem that I faced was the mission called Against All Odds. One trophy is that you have to get 100% completion of this game, so basically you gotta play every mission at least once. And this mission is extremely difficult. I've even watched guides on how to complete it, and really it kind of comes down to luck, and I just don't have that kind of luck, and I honestly just kind of wanted to move on to other things. It is a very difficult mission, but other than this, it is 100% possible to get the platinum trophy. It's just getting through this mission. Maybe one day I'll revisit this game and tackle the platinum trophy, but not today. So here's the thing. This game had a pretty bad reputation with the release 4 years ago. It was right at the height of COVID, and people didn't really have anything better to do than to sit at home playing video games. And Crystal Dynamics were like, we're going to release this Marvel game with a $70 price tag and then force everybody to pay $1 to $14 for outfits, emotes, or takedowns in an effort to squeeze all the money out of this game as much as possible. And if you don't know by now, that was an awful idea. On top of all that, an internet connection was required for playing anything on the game, even the solo stuff. And look, I gotta be honest with you, I'm willing to bet my left nut that if this game released in the state that it's currently in, even with all the free emotes and takedowns, they would have sold more than just 3 million copies. Now that number might seem pretty big for our small minds to wrap around, but for Square Enix, it did not make a profit at all. In fact, the game reportedly lost them $63 million. But again, I'm just spitballing here, but maybe developers and publishers of big AAA games should realize that games sell more when they are clearly more than just a simple cash grab. It's like they try to just slap a name like Marvel on it and think that it's gonna sell and sell well. Now just to reiterate, I did enjoy this game quite a bit, but I don't know, I didn't play this game in 2020, so I don't know how you feel on the subject, but I do 100% recommend it.
But keep in mind that everything behind a paywall is now free, and the game is unfortunately delisted. So you're going to have to buy this game on eBay or something like that, like I did. And now for the moment that I'm sure everyone has been waiting for, my rating. After all that, this game I give, drumroll please, 7 Mjolnirs out of 10.
Ready? Here you go. Take it. All right. Pick one. Ready? You want this one? Are you sure you want that one? You sure? Oh shoot! Grab it again. Sorry, I dropped it. All right. Here's the same exact one too. I can tell by the way it's folded. Are you sure? Are you sure you want this one? Alrighty. Last chance. Here we go. Ready? Wait. GTA 5. It's a story because I actually have not. I played it a little bit. Say yes, you have. I played the PS5 version for a little bit, but now I actually have an idea for an actual video that I do want to do. So yeah, GTA 5. Here we go. Okay, bye.